Welcome, race fans, to the home of Voodoo. Beautiful Northern California, crisp winter day here in December. We'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, God bless America, and in God we trust. We're going to do a walk around of the airplane to see what we have and have not accomplished and what we are going to do and we aren't going to do for this year's charge to Reno 08. Follow me. What the hell happened? Frank, JC? As you can see, we're missing a few parts. This is what we took out of the airplane. You can see the plumbing that's gone. The scoop is here. The doghouse is here. Here's our fairings that we are going to build different styles, so these in some form will be back on the airplane. What we're going to accomplish here, as I follow that, is the radiator sat down here and air went through it to create the cooling. What we're doing is setting the radiator in a pan and running methanol, basically ADI, in a boil-off system. It was accomplished with Stiletto. Matt Jackson made the system work. Matt Jackson and Pete Law are helping us make this happen. What we've got is Frank has built a mock-up box of where this is going to be. This is, the oil cooler will be here, the coolant radiators will be here, and again, in a bath of methanol. Frank, which he'll come over and explain all this to you, he's got this set up where the tubing is going to go, but basically the top of this thing is going to be somewhat turned, so when it boils off, we'd lose minimal amount and it goes back in. So we're trying to retain as much fluids in the boil-off system as we can. Frank, why don't you give me the explanation of what you're doing? And again, as usual, it's Frank, and Bob and JC that are doing this. Frank's the one working with Pete Law, hand in hand, and so Frank, you're up.
Okay, Bob pretty much explained how everything is going in the airplane, and again, the radiator is going to sit in here. Now we have to get the radiator, the tubes that come out of the radiator, back up to the engine where they were in the stock configuration. So what we got to do is figure out where they're going to come out of the back of this box, and then this is where they'll go on the floor. This is a mock-up of the floor as well. So they'll come out a 90 degree, go straight down and back up under where the doghouse was and back to the engine in order to keep everything cool. And our oil cooler is going to be the same thing. We got to get the lines back up to the engine, and it's pretty simple once it's all installed and we get it done. And there's going to be valves and everything to keep the water level at a certain height, so everything will boil off and it'll stay in its bath and keep everything cool. And it's been proven, and hopefully it works well for us so we can excel and get better at these air races and complete a race again and make it all the way through Sunday this year.
Well, as you can see in the area where we've removed the doghouse, that there are a lot of other modifications as any air racer has over the course of its lifetime. Changes to this, changes to that. The oil lines will come down and move forward from this area. The coolant will come down on the left side of the aircraft and move forward to the other coolant lines that are installed from the stock configuration. These are your two oil tubes, in and out, and on the larger diameter lines are your coolant, in and out. They'll come back and make a 90 degree and go up to our methanol bath.
Here's where the lines are going to go out. So this is basically just the floor back here. And the lines will end up coming out of this. And this box here is basically where they're going to come. There's marks. And when we get this box back, it's going to be all stainless and it's going to have a lid on it. So theoretically, it's going to be one modular unit. We should be able to pick it up, set it in, and slide it all the way back to go in there. And it's going to go in there, and the lid's going to come all the way up here like Bob was saying earlier, so all the water will bubble back. And then one of our installations, we're going to put a baggage door over here so we can hook the lines up in the back and get back there and service it. And then there will be other valves up here that regulate the water and keep it full as it's needed. And it's theoretically supposed to be pretty simple when we get it back. Just slide it in and drop it.
Okay, what we've done here and what we're trying to accomplish is we've removed the radiator that sat this way and allowed the air to go through to create the cooling effect that we have in a stock Mustang. What we're going to do is set the radiator flat in here in a tub, which is a boil-off system, which we'll explain. And it's going to sit in here, and this is all going to be faired in. This will be, just like the stock one, will be bolt-on as if you were to drop the scoop, but it'll just be right in through here. And then this will be riveted, tied in again, so we have identical to the same structure that originally came out back in the 40s. The boil-off system is going to sit about right here. And what it's going to do is the boil-off is a big pan with methanol in it. And it has a system of floats. As it's boiling and the level goes down, the floats set an initial charge to a valve that fills it back up. Instead of spray bar water, that same 110-gallon tank is going to be the boil-off water. We're still going to run the outboard tank of ADI, and the left wing will remain fuel. So for the tank configuration, we've made no changes. With this in and cycling, we will have an exhaust port somewhere as high as we can get up here that the steam will come off. And for this year, we're going to build the top of the boil-off system, they call it the chimney, as high as we can because we still have the stock canopy on. We're going to get this accomplished, and once we get satisfactory results out of this, then we will work on the turtle deck for '09. So again, we're going to have the tank here, the chimney up here, the exhaust port up here, somewhere out of here. We even talked about possibly putting it in the canopy. And it'll cycle as it burns off. Pete Law says 3 gallons a minute at race power. So that's 27 gallons, and we're packing 110. So having enough fluids is not going to be an issue here. The other advantage, it maintains your oil temperature 85 degrees. It maintains your coolant temperature around 105. And this is what Matt Jackson found with Stiletto. The oil, the real benefit is the oil as far as the mechanical side of operating the airplane. The lack of all this drag down here is, we're in hopes, is a speed enhancement. Matt didn't get a chance to really run that program full through, but they had great results. They just had a sick engine. So we've got some proven technology, some proven winners. Pete Law, Matt Jackson, and Dennis Schoenfelder is going to build the boil-off system for us. A brilliant engineer, Mustang guy since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. So he's been around these Mustangs and he understands them. Swell fella. New addition to the team to build this boil-off system. Other than that, I didn't retire. That's bullshit, man. The best estimation of the additional speed that this mod will make is probably 15 miles an hour. But if we bolted on everything that we thought we could do, they would be supersonic airplanes, and we know that that's not the reality of it. We are going to see some speed gains, but again, it's flying the course. If you blow a few pylons, it doesn't make any difference what you do to it. So we're guessing 15. They guess 15 on the turtle deck. There's 30. We're a 460 airplane. That's 490. You know, we might be getting into there, but again, best guess, we'll find out. Is in anything that you do, it appears that it takes 3 times the time and twice the money as the original thought. We're in hopes to have it running at the end of February, 1st of March. Our bottom line goal is I want it to be at Chuck Wentworth's Warbird Barbecue the first weekend in June. Okay, well, that pretty much sums it up for today. We, again, our target date is for June to be in Paso Robles. And my wife and I have been having some conversation about the interview that I gave at the end of 07 race. And I would like people to email us. Now, when I said I retired on Sunday. I didn't say Saturday, Friday, or qualifying. And we're having a little conversation here. So why don't you email and see what you thought? You thought I meant retired forever? Or as I said, Sunday I retired. So God bless you all. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And
Vote for Chrissy.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
What's the email address?